BS, I'm sorry, says 133 million Nigerians are living in poverty. Let me announce I'm hanging out with Adekunle Yusuf. I greet you, Adekunle.
Good evening, everyone.
And of course, Ibn Abod Dixon. I greet you too.
Good evening, citizen.
Well, Jide is unavoidably absent. He should be here next week. So the team is ready. I hope you are. Okay, to our first story. You know, these are not easy times for the electoral umpire, the independent national, beginning with those inside his commission. Adekunle, do we trust him on this?
I will trust him on this.
Okay.
And because I must confess to you that some of the reactions I've monitored so far, I felt personally, disappointed because what I see INEC doing shows that we are really improving in terms of our electoral process. This is the first time this will be done. And if INEC is truly ready to do magu-magu as we love to see the Nigerians, talk in the Nigerian palace, it wouldn't make these things, public. And I see INEC, trying to improve on its integrity so that you can boost the public, the confidence of the public in your work, in your activities. Because without getting it right, our electoral process, nothing can ever, be right in Nigeria. So what INEC has just done is to give Nigerians the opportunity to evaluate. In the development process, there are a lot of things you do. You need to go back and evaluate. Are there areas we are doing well? Are we wrong in certain areas? For Nigerians to point out. But I see some Nigerians, political parties, latching on to that to say we want to protest, we want to do. No. This is what INEC has done is commendable. I'm extremely happy with what INEC has done in the sense that if you are afraid, you can't come under the light. It's only, people with shady that love to operate in the night. So what INEC has done so far, to the best of my knowledge, is to commendable. Is to give Nigerians the opportunity to see. Now, it is shown that nothing, is error-free. I don't know anybody that can say everything that everybody does is. So what INEC has done now is Nigerians have picked errors here and there. Oh, these are small boys and small girls. Why are we having them? And according to this former INEC man from Akwa Ibom, Mike Igini.
Yeah, Mike Igini.
Those
former rec.
Yes, former rec. Those who registered are eligible voters are not ad hoc staff. They are members of staff of INEC. Insiders. Then everybody that registers somebody does so in his own or her name. So it is easy to trace who registers this, madam, you or myself. Yeah. So you get my point? So it is easy for INEC, if we see, believe that there's transparency in Nigeria, to trace every infraction we have seen so far to everybody that is involved.
I'll take one kernel from what you said, that you can trust the INEC for once. Let them look on the inside, punish whoever is culpable.
Yes.
Even above, but mine is this, that you are indulging underage, Nigerians in the process. And they grew up with this thing. It's like you are nurturing a crime, and it's here to stay.
You just took, it's like you got into my head and brought it out. When I read the story, what came to my mind was we are fighting corruption, so to say. We are hopeful that the next generation wouldn't take up the dirtiness that has been flying here and there within the government, within the system. And now some supposed INEC officials registered underage persons. When you talk about underage, I saw a particular picture. This, sometimes you want to hide under the guise that, oh, this person just looks small. I didn't know. The person looked matured and everything. This young boy, you will know, even with your eyes closed, that this is a little boy. And somebody registered him to come out to vote.
But they are pushed. They are propelled from somewhere.
That is why they should be fished out. Just like Adekunle said, every INEC official, whether ad hoc or the staff or whoever they are.
But go the whole hog.
Yes.
Well,
they should. It should cut across everybody. Anyone found culpable should be punished.
Yeah.
Because you see, we now that they have applied technology, we are beginning to have hope that, okay, no matter what, I know that sometimes, I mean, nothing is error-free, but to the barest minimum, some things will be done away with. Yeah. So if people will sit somewhere and then register underage children, I think it's a huge problem, because now what I read somewhere was that they were able to fish out about 2.7 million persons, including underage registrants and then multiple registration. Is that all? Is it just 2.7 million? Do we have more? Nigeria is big, and people are desperate. Some politicians probably, some palm greasing was done for this to happen. This is bad, and it should be dealt with. It's satanic, yes, if you ask me. It is.
If one considers that the United States of America, Adekunle just conducted their midterm, and we never had any such thing. So, but the counter logic would be, America is over 200 years old. Must we wait that long?
Yes, okay, but no, we cannot wait that long, but we may, with the pace we are going, we may have to wait far, far longer than that, but I don't want to be pessimistic. You see, we are talking about INEC, but the problem we are talking about is about the Nigerian populace. Some folks, parents, politicians, whoever they are, propelled these young children, took them to the center to register. Some of them don't know the meaning of completing votes, what it means. So some probably know the value of this thing. And they took these children there, thereby corrupting them. And by our laws, you cannot register to vote in Nigeria unless you are 18. Yeah. You get my point? Yeah. So we are saying INEC. Of course, INEC. But what about parents who indulge in this? Yeah. What about politicians, desperate, power-hungry politicians?
I dare say many parents don't know what these things.
And when you take a look at it, it is more in one part of Nigeria than the other. You get my point? I can't take my child of 10, 12 years to he will not even ask me for that.
The rigor alone.
You get my point? If you have monitored elections around Nigeria, you will see that we are a different country compared in terms of our culture, in terms of our practices. You see things the way they are done in certain areas. You come here, you see a different thing. So believe me, all of us, we need to think and decide what do we really want to make of our country. If we want Nigeria to ever progress, the first job is the leadership recruitment process. We need to sanitize it. We need to do everything to make sure that it's only credible people that emerge, not children who don't know the meaning of voting.
To take this home, Ibn Abbas, so you want the law to really go the whole course, Whoever is complicit, punish him or her.
Whoever is culpable, please. There is no sacred cow here. Maybe by the time they nab those culpable INEC officials, we are in dire straits. The economy is completely, when somebody is almost in coma. And then we are here. Who are the people behind this? Who are the people, encouraging the parents? Because a child of 10, 11, 12 wouldn't just come out and say, I want to register. It was done with the, with the, yes, or the parents and some persons propelling this. So it has, everybody culpable should be punished. Nobody should be left out.
All right, we go to our next story, but let the debate continue. But I do believe that as members of the human family, we can at least behave like humans. We are not an special people. Okay then, the next story. Unbeknownst to millions of Nigerians, the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offenses Commission, ICPC, is a Nigerian agency at the hub of Nigeria's fight against corruption. It was founded on September 29, 2000 by former President Bolaji Owasanwoye, has revealed that his commission recovered more than 117 billion naira between January and August 2022. He was defending the budget of the ICPC before the House of Reps Committee on Anti-Corruption and Appropriation. Why does the IPC appear to have little or no publicity about its accomplishments? Does it bother you?
It does.
Because more focus is on the EFCC.
EFCC, it is obtainable in many places. If you don't come out and talk about your achievements, nobody's going to talk about it for you. So since they are coming out, it's better for them, because at a time, it was like there was nothing like ICPC. It was like the only anti-graft agency we have
was the EFCC.
Was the EFCC. So it is better they come out and they talk about their successes, even their failures, so that we will know that, okay, these people are really working. Yes, and their problems, so that we know that these people are really working. But if you keep everything to your chest, how do we know how do we grade or rate you? So I think it's fantastic what they are doing, and I hope that they are better funded, because, when you don't really understand the activities of an agency, then you begin to question or query why such an amount of money should be earmarked for that agency.
Particularly, I don't think you are thinking differently here.
Yes, but when you try to, historically, when you take a look, you realize that these two anti-graft bodies took a public image of the characters that, in terms of, when you look at when ICPC came first before EFCC, if you remember, but you see Justice Mustafa Akobi, as chairman of ICPC. Now you see a whole
at the time,
everybody. So the style was different. So you see that the character of the pioneer leadership of both agencies or both commissions or whatever you want to call them. So that thing still sticks. EFCC, noise making all over, fine. But ICPC, you can see ICPC really talks. It does its work almost quietly, and when it achieves anything, they don't call the press. And even the press
is that a plus or a minus?
Well, it's about style. I don't know whether it is a plus or minus. It is about style.
Now,
but let me be honest.
In a country where the people are they are too hard to please.
Please, even telling me, okay, is the EFCC that talks on is corruption not going on? You get my point? It's not about just database that is digitized. In America, you remember, you refer to that time, nobody can go to anywhere and say you are age 10 when you are age 14. The system will flag you down.
That's it.
You get my point? Because there is a national database. So instead of us always thinking about building infrastructure, let's go and build the basis for our existence. We need it. We should know who is a Nigerian, who is not a Nigerian, not just by carrying passport, because everybody comes around here. And so let's have a national database. If we do it, this INEC job will be easier. That's one. Then two, coming to corruption fighting. If our system is digitized, not those politicians carrying billions of dollars of money all over the place, it Many things will vanish in terms of crimes that we commit. Many malpractices will just overnight because everybody can be traced. Everything can be traced. We are not doing that. So from INEC to this point, ICPC, we can help corruption fighting in Nigeria by following the examples that you have around. As old as I am, if I enter a bank in America, my own bank, that I need $5,000 cash, I will face at least 5 different panels. They will be canceling me. I've tried it before. So when you go from one room, they will explain to you, this is America. In America, it's a crime to do this, and this. You want to get this, you can do this.
You thought you were in Nigeria.
So they will be telling you. So when you leave that team, then you go to another in the bank. Yeah. So when you leave that room, another already 2, 3 people already seated. There will be another one. They will start talking to you, telling you lots about this.
These are institutions that are working
because they created them. Institutions don't just create themselves. We have institutions, but we don't allow them to work. You understand? But now, for our country to work, we can digitize the system in a way. It is not a big deal to do this. Believe me, how many Nigerians do we have? To make it a law that every child that is born, this must be registered, those who are alive, this. If somebody dies, if you enter the United States of America today without announcing to anybody that you are coming,
the
moment you are landing, bam, the system all over, as big as that country is, recognizes that you are so. Yeah. Then the state that you enter, and by the time you turn your phone, the first thing that will come in, welcome to the United States of America. You didn't tell anybody you are coming in. This is Nigeria. We are not too poor to do this. We have the human resources. We have the natural resources. We have everything it takes. We just like to play in a way that something that we allow the rich to always have their way and the poor to always wallow in poverty.
Because when the rich Ibinabo runs into rough weather, a phone call will take everything away. For instance, there was the what do you call whistleblowing law. It is here. And why are we not applying it? Helping the ICPC job.
I remember that there was a particular, I think, was it a press conference or something, that the ICPC boss mentioned it, that they should bring it back to life again. I think that will go a long way, but you see the
because he talked about 5% of
whatever. Exactly, and there's a clause where if you blow the whistle and there is nothing, it's a false alarm, you are in trouble. Yeah. So, consistency will always work for us, but we are not consistent. Today, we are talking about, you remember when whistleblowing was
when it came
all over the place, everywhere. It became like a slogan. Then suddenly it died down. Like my dad would say, Onuyao, everything would just, like it never happened. So if all hands are on deck.
Like it never happened, but Adekunle and Ibinabo, like it never happened, can be traced to the media. The media hardly follows a particular story through. I don't know if he...
Aside from that, people are scared. Some people will tell you, I should go and whistleblow on somebody. Then the next day, somebody will mention my name. You understand that kind of a thing? We don't even trust the system. That when you come up with an information,
you'll be protected.
You'll be protected. So that we have a lot of issues to take care of here. Yeah. If I know that if I come up with an information, I will be protected, then if there's anything I want to give, I'll give it. But if I know that saying this thing might put my life at risk or my loved ones at risk, I want to keep my mouth shut.
Particularly, why I particularly dropped that line in was because I remember some months back about 2 federal civil servants went on between them to own some 360 plots in Abuja. Do you know that story has died down?
I think
but you know what I'm talking about.
Yes, I do. The Nigerian press, has a huge blame in this aspect. You see, the news media in America or UK, when they're on a story, you see, most of us don't know that the power that we wield is not only in exposing a scam or a story, or the power of follow-ups. That's the biggest power, one of the biggest powers of the media. But we don't do follow-ups. The moment we report so billion, former accountant general did this, former secretary to the federal government of the federation, former this. The moment you do that, we don't bother again.
Yeah.
And that is one of the minuses of this profession in Nigeria.
Yeah.
Unlike the UK.
Sorry, I don't want to keep Mukhtar in Kano waiting. Mukhtar, good evening. Welcome.
Hello, good evening, Stephen Jones.
Hello, Mukhtar. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Stephen Jones, it's a good job you are doing.
Thank you,
said
sir.
You are doing a good job.
Yes, sir.
And I give kudos to ICPC. They have done a very, 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 very good job for doing that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. But the problem with ICPC is that maybe
lift up your voice a little.
ICPC is not doing his job well, and you, the media, are always paying attention to EFCC. In fact, EFCC has been established in the minds of the common man. Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah,
So EFCC, see, the media houses in Nigeria attach more importance to EFCC rather than the ICPC. But silently, ICPC is doing a good job. But you, the media, should help them make an advocacy on their activities, because more attention is being given to ICPC. One reason is that they are dealing with top-notch politicians. They arrest politicians that many common people are interested on. That's why they made a name in Nigeria. But I think ICPC is doing a very good job. Thank you very much.
Many thanks, Mukhtar. Yeah.
Yeah, just as I was speaking, one of the biggest powers of the media is the power to do follow-ups. We don't do that in Nigeria. And it's really, really affecting everything. You get my point? So when you take a look at it very well, the media will need to go back. In America, UK only, when they are on top of a story, they are not afraid to even get tired of repeating the same story. They will make life miserable for that government, for that personality, for that office, until if change is effected.
But
here in Nigeria,
that's the major job of the media.
But here in Nigeria, the moment it is said once, we are already on another thing.
That's it.
And that makes life comfortable for public office holders.
Yeah, but let's make some money. We are going on a commercial break. We'll be back. Please stay with us.
The Kano State APC support groups cordially invites the general public to attend 1 million March PVC show for Ashiwaju, Shatima, Gawuna and Garu. The event is scheduled as follows. Date, Sunday, 20th November 2022. Time, 2 p.m. Starting point, Emias Palace, Opar Kudu, via Open Nasarawa through State Road, Kano Government House Roundabout, and finally to Race Course. Special guests include His Excellency, the Governor of Kano State, Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, His Excellency the Deputy Governor and APC governorship candidate, Dr. Nasir Yusuf Gawuna, Right Honorable Hamisa Chidari, Speaker, Kano State House of Assembly, Senator Kabir Gara, and Senator Barrow Jibril Malia, Honorable Abdullahi Abbas, the APC Chairman, Kano State, Honorable Murtala Salagaro, Deputy Governorship candidate of the APC in Kano, Honorable Abdul Karim A. Zawra, and many others. The event is sponsored by Shayi Tinubu, Abba Abdullahi Ganduje, Muhammad Abdullahi Ganduje, and Yahya Nasir Gawuna. Announcer, Director Support Groups, Northwest, PCC, Honorable Bappa Babba Awundi. The general public are hereby invited to the Platinum Post Annual Roundtable event with the theme Contemporary Security Challenges and Their Effect on the 2023 General Elections. Chairman of the occasion, His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Kano State, Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje OFR. Guest Speaker, His Excellency, the Governor of Bauchi State, Senator Bala Abdul Qadir Muhammad. Keynote Speaker, Major Hamza Al-Mustafa retired. Special Guest of Honor, Benue State Governor, Dr. Samuel Autumn, and the Inspector General of Police, IGP Usman Baba Al-Ghali, discussant, INEC Chairman Mahmoud Yakubu, IPAC Chairman Engineer Yabagi Sani, Honorable Leke Abejide, Chairman House Committee on Customs and Excise, and the Commandant General of the NSCDC, Ahmad Audi. The event is scheduled as follows. Date, 22nd November 2022. Time, 10 a.m. prompt. Venue, Nikon Luxury Hotel, Abuja. Announcer, Mr. Edwin Olofu, CEO, Platinum Post.
I've had a lot of people ask, what is Nigeria's business building a railway line into Maradi, which is in Niger Republic? Right from time immemorial, the very foundation of wealth creation is trade. We can all cast our minds back to our history classes, where we learned about the trans-Saharan trade that has created multi-billionaires of those days, who probably will be multi-trillionaires these days. Okay? And that trans-Saharan trade is what is reflected here. We are supposed to have a train that can go from Lagos all the way to Algiers and connect to Europe. Now, Niger is supposed to continue from Maradi up to its border.
This message is brought to you from the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
Okay then, welcome back to our next story. You know, it must be stated that political violence is perpetrated in order to achieve political goals. The Inspector General of Police, IGP Usman Baba Al-Ghali, has blamed the increasing incidents of political violence in our country on some state governors. The police chief let the cat out of the bag when he met with the leadership of the political parties and other stakeholders in Abuja. He should know, of course. Of course, the meeting was designed to present a common front in addressing the issues. So how easy is it to teach old dogs new tricks, Ibn Abo?
You see, the problem with Nigeria are Nigerians, obviously. And then the major problem we have are our leaders. Because majority of them are using their offices to coerce people.
Muscle.
Muscle them into doing things.
Whip people into line.
You understand? So at the end of the day, you realize that it seems as if you have no choice than to dance to their tunes.
Yeah.
So that's weaponization of poverty.
Not only poverty of power, because you have the power, you begin to, there are times that the person may not say anything, but there is so much body language that you don't need to be told that if you don't fall into line, you're going to be in trouble. So some of our leaders also, honestly...
Sorry, part of it is self-censorship, especially in the media.
Exactly. You can't... Okay, you have a story. We're talking about media not taking up some stories or not doing follow-up and all that. You have some stories and a particular politician is restless and he begins to press all the buttons here and there. By the time he continues to press buttons, it will slow you down. It will discourage you.
And then the man on the street considers the press as being part of the mess, of the morass. Adekule, the IGP is telling you and I that governors chiefly are the purveyors, they are the promoters of electoral violence. You don't doubt him, do you?
No, I don't. And apart from governors, politicians generally, and their agents.
So are we to take it that these people are more powerful than the country?
That's the way they behave. So even if we fail to acknowledge that fact, but that's the way they behave, and that's the way they want us to see them. So politicians, those who are already in public office, then those who are not in public office, and they have their surrogates everywhere, in the professions, in the motor parks, in everywhere, in associations, So
the country appears polarized, captured.
Not polarized, captured, powerless. You get my point? Powerless. You see, I talked about weaponization of poverty. You know, poverty can be in terms of material possessions, but what of here too? They make sure that
Poverty of the intellect.
so they capture the powerful men and women. They feast on that. They weaponized poverty. So when you look at the people that carry out violence, it's very hard to see the sons and daughters of the elite. These are people from poor homes who depend on crumbs from our big men. So they send them on this kind of,
Satanic errand.
It's satanic, God bless you. Yoruba would say, something or something like that. So their children, no. They are better abroad or schooling abroad in best schools, or they are in safe places. They don't move there. So when the IGP was talking, he knows because the records they have. You get my point?
The facts are before
and
him.
of course, and in most cases, the institution, the police, that institution is powerless.
Yes, but there are relevant laws to deal with things like this.
But where is the independence?
Of
See, let me tell you, let me give you
whose
this.
independence?
I'm talking about, you think because you are the IGP, you can just do anything?
No, but the law empowers you to apply the laws.
If that's the way every IGP does, I don't know how many one of them will spend 1 week in office.
No vex, I'm not sending the IGP any job. But if the man tells me electoral violence are promoted by governors,
yes,
what does he expect me to do?
The governors, number one, by law, you cannot arrest them.
I know.
They enjoy immunity, the deputy governors, the president, the vice president. You get my point? But the law does not say you cannot investigate them.
Yeah.
At least Gani Fawemi was able to achieve that through the court. And it is settled in law. You can investigate anybody. So when they are out of office, do the right thing. Unfortunately, even as we talk about the media just now, we are always in a hurry to forget.
Yeah.
You get my point?
Because of our peculiar environment. Even about in all of this, the journalist in you suffers. As in this case,
Hugely.
the police in the policeman suffers too.
Hugely, because you know what you can do, you know what you have to do, but you are just limited.
You are hamstrung.
Exactly. And then don't forget, citizens, that in this country of ours, when we're talking about the law, to some people, the laws are applied. To some other ones, the laws are interpreted. You see, while you are interpreting the law, you begin to find, because every law has its loophole. You only need to find it. As you are interpreting the law, you begin to find loopholes, and before you know it, this person, this big man, will escape. But if it's an ordinary man, once and for all, the law is slammed, is applied.
Look at the other day, the chairman of the EFCC started by saying 3 governors. We now have info on them. 2 of them in the north, 1 in the south. They are guilty of messing with our naira. He has increased the number. But again, what does he expect a powerless man like me to do?
What do we do? It's not about telling us we have 20 governors or 20 persons, this and that. Who are they? And then what are you going to do? We have the laws there. Let the law take its course to the fullest. Whoever, irrespective, even if you are yet enjoying immunity, you won't enjoy it forever.
Yeah.
There will come a time you step out of that office. How about taking it up thereafter? But you see, in Nigeria, if a story persists for 2-3 months,
You don't try.
You don't try.
Yeah, Adokele, but you remember that in the immediate aftermath of the storming of INEC offices at Abeokuta and Ilesha, the IG told us they had made some arrests, and so on and so on. Am I making sense to you?
You are, but do you usually hear anything about it? And the press in Nigeria, do they always follow up on that story? To ask. That's why I said the media is highly culpable in this aspect.
Yeah.
Because the biggest power that we have, which is the power of follow-up, we don't use it.
Yeah.
And when you don't use it, this
Scene act 1, Scene 2, or Scene 2, Act 2, or what do you call it?
It shouldn't be inconclusive.
I do want to laugh today.
They should follow it.
All right. I hear Chris is reaching us from Jos Plateau State. Chris, good evening to you. Welcome.
Good evening, actually, journalist Hangout.
How do you do?
We are doing great.
Go on.
Yes. Yeah, the citizen, good evening, and Binabo and the people on the panel there.
Yeah.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, we're talking about ICPC and EFCC. The point is that ICPC is doing its work in a very meticulous way without coming to branding news. But the EFCC is an institution which the government is used to witch hunt people. That is why they publicize everything they are doing. Recently, the chairman of EFCC was sent to prison for floating court order. What happened? Another court came to dismiss that because what they are doing, the whistle blowing something was working. It's just because the thing was affecting the men on top. You can imagine the COI and a lot of money that were recovered. And at the point they stopped paying the 5% to the whistleblowers, and they deliberately killed it. That is why you see here.
Thank you.
Not doing
Thank
the
you.
right thing.
Chris, many thanks. But, let the debate continue. At least our business here is to help provoke a debate, provoke the opinion. We allow the IG to do the rest. We wish you well. Okay, to our next story. And the last one. Anyone who has ever struggled with poverty knows how extremely expensive it is to be poor. As cynical as this statement sounds, it's brutally close to the truth about my country, your country. The National Bureau of Statistics, NBS, has disclosed that more than 133 million Nigerians, representing some 63% of the population, is currently living in multidimensional poverty. The phrase multidimensional is key here. Broken down, it means that 2 out of every 3 Nigerians are poor and therefore experience just over 1/4 of all possible deprivations in terms of health, education, living standards, and shocks. Overcoming poverty at this stage is not an act of charity, but an act of justice. We have a right to dignity and decent life. Don't you think so, Aki? Adekunle?
I do. I think so. I think so. And I think those in power now and those struggling to take over from them, I pray they read this report because there's a difference between monetary poverty and multidimensional poverty. So when you look at monetary poverty, which is easier, it's lower in Nigeria than multidimensional poverty. I think monetary poverty should be around 43 or 42, thereabout. But when you talk about multidimensionality of poverty in Nigeria, it's over 60%. And in your intro, you even explain it, or I don't need to define it. You see people, the bulk of Nigerians, cooking with, charcoal, cooking with firewood, cooking with. There are so many sort of clean energy. When you look at the bulk of people, live in the rural areas. So poverty is bigger, I think about 73 in the rural areas.
Percent?
Yes, in the rural areas. When you talk about multi-dimensional, poverty, when you look at the report very well, the poorest states, the poorest segments of Nigeria are in the north. Places like Sokoto, like Kebbi, like Jigawa, like Yobe, Gombe, and so on. They are extremely poor as in terms of multidimensionality, aspect, as high as 90-something% of the people. So we have the lowest in terms of multidimensional poverty. We have the lowest in places like Ondo. So when you look at this, I believe this is one report that those in government now, because they still have some time to do certain things and change certain things. Nigerians have never been this hungry in the history of Nigeria. Nigerians have never been this poor. Things have never been this tough. So when you look at the hunger on the streets of Nigeria, when you look at the state of hunger, state of poverty, you don't need NBS to tell us. We know, because we live among the people, we walk the streets, we see what is happening.
Yeah.
You see hunger, you see anger on the faces of
I'm
Nigeria.
sure Ibn Ebo remembers the street song. Na poor, I poor, and no grace, Poverty, when it is deep-seated, it touches you and you are helpless.
It drives you crazy. Let's look at a scenario. A man goes out in the morning. He doesn't even have a decent home. He goes out to look for a means of, maybe he's a daily earner. There's nothing for him that day. He didn't leave a kobo in the house for his children. And he comes back home, empty pocket. No, how do you think he's going to reason? You think he wants to listen to you or to me?
There's a story of the man who came back in the afternoon and the children started addressing him as uncle. They said, no, I'm not your uncle, I'm your father. But they said, our papa don't go work. They don't say they don't sack the man.
People are really suffering. I've always said this. I said, I asked someone something. They said, change is inevitable.
Yeah.
So our own change, is it getting better or getting worse? Because since over 36 years ago that SAP was introduced, the economy started falling, and it is still falling.
You remember Vision 2020?
It was like,
to us in the 80s, it was a far-flung.
Exactly, it was like 2020. That is far.
Yeah.
And now we are in 2022. And we are still singing the same song.
2050.
People are suffering. Sometimes when I drive past some places, you see these scavengers. I saw a lady works in a restaurant, and she was telling me about how she had to keep leftovers for some families to come and pick.
Oh dear.
And they are Nigerians. And they live in this country. And we are an oil-producing country. It's very disheartening.
Adekunle, it's about the choices we make as a people, as a country, as a polity.
I agree with you in totality. And we have an opportunity in the coming election. Whether we really love ourselves, or not.
We'll attempt to answer the question, but let's go on another commercial break. We'll be back. Please stay with us.
Good afternoon, sir. Please, I need a room to rent in your house.
Okay, where do you work?
I'm a nurse.
That means you won't owe me rent. Congratulations, young lady. You have yourself a house.
Well, thank you so much, sir. So, how much is the rent?
90,000 naira. Oh, but wait, where are you from?
I am from Akamata.
Akamata what? Akamata in my house? If you know how you got into my house, please get out right away. My spirit and that of Akamata people don't have anything to do together.
Sir, what have I done?
Your people from Akamata are known for bad things. That is what they represent, and you can't live in my house. Just get out right away.
What's going on?
Leave my house, young lady. Yes, our differences extend to our languages, culture, food, and even belief. But we are bound together by the cord of love. With one heart, with one voice, we will make Nigeria a hub of greatness, a place where the people live as one.
This message is brought to you from the Center for Democracy and Development, CDD, with support from the UK government.
The Kano State APC support groups cordially invites the general public to attend 1 million March PVC show for Ashiwaju, Shatima, Gawuna and Garu. The event is scheduled as follows. Date, Sunday, 20th November 2022. Time, 2 p.m. Starting point, Emias Palace, Upper Kudu, via Open Nasarawa through State Road, Kano Government House Roundabout, and finally to Race Course. Special guests include His Excellency, the Governor of Kano State, Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, His Excellency the Deputy Governor and APC governorship candidate, Dr. Nasir Yusuf Gawuna, Right Honorable Hamisu Chidari, Speaker, Kano State House of Assembly, Senator Kabir Gaya, and Senator Barrow Jibril Malia, Honorable Abdullahi Abbas, APC Chairman Kano State, Honorable Murtala Salagaro, Deputy Governorship candidate of the APC in Kano, Honorable Abdul Karim A. Zawra, and many others. The event is sponsored by Shayi Tinubu, Abba Abdullahi Ganduje, Muhammad Abdullahi Ganduje, and Yahya Nasir Gawuna. Announcer, Director Support Groups, Northwest, PCC, Honorable Bappa Babba.
All right, welcome back. The story, for those who didn't get it from the top, the National Bureau of Statistics, the NBS, has given us a brutal verdict. Some 133 million of our estimated 200 million Nigerians are living in multidimensional poverty. And that means if you break such a poverty down, we appreciate what hapless life many Nigerians are going through.
Let me help you a bit. 63% of that figure live in the north. 35% of that figure. And when I say 63%, I'm saying 86 million Nigerians who are multidimensionally poor are from the north of Nigeria. Then,
avoidably,
that's another topic. I'm talking about the report. Then 35% of that figure, which is 47 million Nigerians who are multidimensionally poor, live in the southern part of Nigeria. What does that tell Nigerians? In this coming election, we should rid ourselves of a lot of primordial, sentiments. Look for competence. Anybody that can solve the problems of Nigeria, let's recruit based on competence. That's all. 86 million. How many countries have that kind of population? No, what's the population of France? What's the population of UK? 86 million. Multidimensionally poor. That's worse than what you can think. Now, that's in the north. In Nigeria, in the southern part of Nigeria, 47 million people. Multidimensionally poor. So what it means is that poverty is no respecter of language, of religion, of culture, of religion, of anything. Now we need to think, if one of us is there, it will be better. No, it's not a guarantee.
No, because even if you are one of them there,
it's not a guarantee. Now, the president of Nigeria for close to 8 years now is a northerner. What do we have here? 86 million people from his region, multidimensionally. That's the worst type of poverty that you can have.
Even about, maybe you help break it down. Avoidably, dimensionally poor.
How do you have?
No. What I'm saying we could have avoided where we are now.
We live in a system where when people become leaders, but I don't know whether they sell their conscience somewhere. Because as a leader, now we are going about electioneering, campaign and all that, making all of the promises. I think what we should be asking now is, it's not about you telling me that you're going to do A, B, C, and D for me. It's about you breaking it down. How are you going to go about it? If you want to bring about, fantastic health sector, how are you going to go about it? It's not about saying what you are going to do. Break it down. Let us know how you are going to go about it. Because what you have been hearing, okay, well, I will do this for you, I will do that for you, but what is your modus operandi? How are you going to go about it? They don't say it. So they just say what people want to hear. And Nigerians forget that there is an office that is called the Office of the Citizens.
Yeah, yeah.
That office, we don't even know how much power
we must apply the brakes here. But I dare say that overcoming poverty at this stage is not an act of charity, but an act of justice. So whoever wants to be my president next year must do three things. Give us electricity. Second, give us more electricity. Third, give us much more electricity. And we'll go into production, aggressive production, and we'll be busy again. Let the debate continue, but we must go. Thank you for everything. Adekunle, many thanks for your time. Ibn Abo, I can't thank you enough. And we thank the Backroom Boys. If you missed this show, join us at 11 later tonight for a late edition. And of course, don't forget a Sunday date where we start from 1:30 and give you an expanded 2-hour edition on the Hangout on Sunday. We are also on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I'm Citizen Jones Hussein. Bye-bye now.
Here for the show-stopping magic of a moment.
Get DSTV Compact with an HD decoder plus dish kit for only 14,900 Naira to watch all 64 matches. Here for every fan.
The following is a paid presentation by ShopX TV. Black Friday is here, and ShopX TV is proud to bring you a very special offer. We all know the benefits that come from eating a healthy, balanced diet, but sometimes that's not always easy. Until now. ShopX TV is proud to introduce the NutriBullet, the must-have kitchen item of the year. Here's how it works. First, add spinach for fiber, berries for antioxidants, and some banana for potassium. Add water, and watch how the NutriBullet completely breaks everything down. Even almond nuts, cashew nuts, and tiger nuts have been completely broken down. The NutriBullet is not a blender. It's not a juicer. It's an extractor, a crusher. It's a grinder with a 600-watt motor combined with bullet